Welcome to launch day for this book, Never Give Up. We're excited to share the stories in here of people who never gave up. We're speaking with the authors, and I'm excited to have Susan Beam here, and she's one of the authors in the book. Susan, welcome, and thank you for sharing your story. There it is.
There it is.
Yay!
Yay!
It's so exciting having the book and being an author. Is this your first time
It is.
writing?
It
So
is
how
my first time writing. Yes, ma'am.
so how has your experience been doing this
It
project?
was nice. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope to leave a legacy. So it was
Yeah,
very fun.
good, good. Well, why don't you start by introducing yourself and telling everybody who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Susan Beam. I'm married to Stuart Beam. We've been married for 33 years. And right now I am a hospital switchboard operator with a local hospital system. And I'm just excited. I'm a breast cancer survivor, 12 years. So that's what I decided to do my chapter on was my journey with breast cancer.
And that's it, right? And you got to have that never give up attitude when you're
Right.
dealing with something like that. Um, so, what made you decide to write your chapter in this book?
Um, well, I had met Linda at a mastermind called Secret Knock in March of 2022. So, and then I saw her again in March of 2023, and she told me about books that were coming up and sent me a list. And the first list really didn't grab my attention, but the next list did. The book title Never Give Up was on the second list, and I'm like, bingo, that's it. So I'm like, yeah, that's the perfect book to put my story in.
Yeah, yeah. So have you gotten the writing bug? I mean, since you've done this, have you continued to write, or is it?
Yeah, I probably will continue to write. I don't know what I'll write about next, but I'll probably continue to do something. Yeah.
Do you feel you have some more stories in you?
Oh, definitely. We have more stories.
So the title of your chapter is called Operation Kick Cancer in the Ass. I love that. I love that. So, without giving too much away, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your chapter is about?
Well, the name of the chapter came from what I named my journey. I called my journey Operation Kick Cancer in the Ass, which had 5 phases in it. And the first phase was my surgery and port placement. The second phase was chemotherapy. The third, which I had 4 rounds of chemo. The third phase was Herceptin, which I had a year of Herceptin because I was ER positive, PR positive, and HER2 positive, which is just how they kind of diagnosed the cancer. Estrogen positive, progesterone positive, and HER2 is a targeted therapy. They call it a targeted thing. So
Mhm.
Herceptin was the targeted therapy that they used for treating HER2 positive breast cancer. So phase three was the Herceptin, which was every 3 weeks for a year. And then phase four was my radiation, and I had 6 weeks of radiation 5 days a week. So, and then phase five was I was on 10 years of hormone therapy, which was July 2012 through July 2022. So,
Wow, wow. That was quite a journey, right?
yeah,
It was quite
yeah,
and I'm sure, you're learning stuff along the way. You got to um, learn all about the different things that you were going through and the different treatments and
right.
um, so tell me a little bit about that journey. Maybe just the learning aspect and all the medical terms and all the things that you had to learn as you went through this journey. Um,
I have actually worked in healthcare as in registration for a while, and so I was familiar with some of the medical jargon, but
mhm,
and then just being able to communicate it with people in layman's terms is always interesting. So,
right.
but I was always open and honest with people about my journey because I always felt like the more people that know, the more people that can pray, and the power of prayer is awesome, and that's in my in my chapter too. So
Right. Yeah. No, I truly believe in the power of prayer and its benefits. And who was part of your support team? Who were the people that stepped up to help you? Was there a
Of course, my husband was. I can remember when I was going to my first chemotherapy. It was like I wasn't going to chemotherapy. We were going to chemotherapy.
Mhm.
That's why he said is we're going because he was going with me. We were a team. We were going to do it together.
Right.
And so that really it still kind of makes me cry right now when I think about it, just because it was so sweet, such a sweet gesture. But and then of course my parents were support, even though they were in Atlanta. Mom talked to me all the time. She kept wanting to know if I got sick after chemo. Because in the early days you did get sick with chemo, but now they give you so many drugs to prevent nausea and vomiting. I never got sick with chemo, but
Good.
so that was a good thing. But mom and dad were there. My sister was there, and then of course my work family was there too.
Now you're a hospital switchboard operator. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what you do there.
I work third shift, so I answer the phones that are coming into the hospital. So the general public calls, or people call down from the different floors, and I answer their questions, transfer calls, monitor the emergency code line, and call codes overhead if I have to, and keep in contact with our hospital police, monitor the fire panel, the medical gas alarms, the blood bank alarms. There's quite a bit to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Good, good. So you met Linda at Secret Knock. Now I was at Secret Knock in March, my first time. So what was that about, and how did you get involved with that? I know a lot of people have talked about it, and
Uh-huh.
some people might not know about it. So maybe tell a little bit about that and your
Well,
experience
secret
with it.
dog is just a secret. That's kind of what it
Oh,
is.
tell nobody.
It's a networking event, and a place to get motivated and to meet people and to kind of get things in gear, take action, which is what I did with Linda
Hmm.
and writing this chapter. But yeah, and I got involved with Secret Knock with one of my mentors, Doug Vaughn, who I'm also a weight loss surgery patient, so I've had weight loss surgery, and I got to meet Dr. Vaughn through doing some research about bariatric surgery and found him. He was not my surgeon, but I'm in a group with him right now with a bunch of other people. So um, that's how I got involved with Secret Knock, was through Dr. V.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just so much fun. I know I went in March of this year for the first time, and I met some amazing people, and the speakers that they have, and the whole
It's
event is just great
Yes,
from
it's
start to
really it takes you the second year to really digest it. The first year you're just kind of in a maze by what all goes on. The second year you kind of get the hang of it.
right, right. So we're here talking with the authors of the book Never Give Up. We're going to encourage everyone to head on
Yay.
over to actiontakerspublishing.com/never. Pick up your free gift from the authors, and head on over to Amazon. When you go over to that website, you'll see flags from the different countries. Click on the country that you're in, go to Amazon in your country, and get this book. There's some inspiration, some great stories. Have you had a chance to read any of the stories in here?
I have not. I was out of town for a couple of days, so my husband is a bone marrow transplant patient, which is another story. But we had an appointment at Emory yesterday for him just to check up. So I've been out of town.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I've been sitting here reading some of them, and some of them are just so spectacular and
Yeah.
just inspirational and motivational, and people that have that, that are taking the action, that have that never give up. And your story is amazing in there. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for being part of it and for sharing your story
You're
inside this
welcome.
book. What do you want the readers to take away from reading your chapter and from reading this book?
Um, take away from my chapter, don't be afraid to share what's going on in your life with other people, because I'm faith based, in the power of prayer, which we've said before, is just absolutely awesome. The more people that know, the more people that can pray for you. And I kind of equivalent prayer to hand washing. You can never have too much of it. In the medical field, we always wash our hands every 5 seconds, it seems like, and but I just want people to know that, to have a humor, you have to laugh every day too. It's so hard to go through cancer and the treatment and the diagnosis, and I always find some way to laugh while you're going through treatment, and just never give up and journal. That's the other thing I did, is I used Karen Bridge to journal so that I could communicate with family and friends, and not without having to tell everybody 5,000 times what was going on. It's like they could just sign into Karen Bridge and see my updates.
So how can people connect with you, Susan, if they want to?
I've got a website. It's www.susanobeam.acnibo.com. And if you go to that website, my email address is there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your story, and for being part of the Never Give Up family.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. It was a wonderful, inspiring experience.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so first of all, I like being in any of the Action Taker or publishing books, and I think I'm at this point I'm addicted to being in these collaborative books, so I'm going to grab as many as I can, right? But I do resonate with this title because not because of the swear word, but because being in Linda's world, this is all about up-leveling your life by doing the things that most people don't do. And I think that just being in this sphere of influence has helped me tremendously to overcome a lot of my barriers. And I want to help spread that wisdom with as many people as I can.